Uh, Hello everyone. This is our group again. Our group called Manslaughters. We have 6 members. We have me. We have Bảo. We have Hiếu. We have Hoàng. We have Vinh, and we have Khang and Linh. We have a total 6 members, and today we will present about 2 sections, section 3 and section 4. First, we will come up to section 3.5. This is called consumer markets and buyer behavior. First, we will go to the table of content. We have total 4 content of this section. First, we have number 1 is define the consumer market and construct a simple model of the consumer buyer behavior. Second, we have to know about 4 major factors that influence consumer buyer behavior. And the third is to list and define the major types of buying decisions, behavior, and the stage of the buyer decision process. And the last one is about describe the adoption and diffusion process for new products. Okay, first we will come to the definition of consumer market and constructs. First we have okay, first we have two main meanings that you need to know before we came to this section. First we have what is consumer buyer behavior. Consumer buyer behavior is the buying behavior of the final consumers, individual and households that buy goods and service for personal consumption. And you can for example, if your mom go to the market and she buy apple, for example, her behavior is the consumer buyer behavior. Next we come to the consumer markets are made up of all the individuals and households acquire goods and services for personal consumption. Next we go to part 2. Okay, if you just know the meaning, the definition of the two consumer buyer behavior and consumer markets, you can't catch up the final meaning of this section. So I will introduce to you the model of buyer behavior. It's just about this. It's really short. First we come to the environment. We have a market stimuli, the price, the products, place, and others like the economic, the technological, the social, and the cultural. And from the environment, we come to the buyer's black box. This means we have two main of buyers characteristics and buyer decision process. And the last one, from the buyer's black box, we come to the buyer responses. First, we have buying attitudes and preference. Second, we have purchase behavior, and third, we have brand engagement and relationship.
Coming up to the 4 factors that influence the consumer buyer behavior. Here we have the cultural factors. They are the culture, which is a set of basic values, perception, wants, and behavior. Next is subcultures. They are smaller culture with group of people that within it that created, and social classes and measures. And here we have the major American social classes, which is the upper class, the middle class, the working class, and the final is the lower class. The upper class, which include mostly is entrepreneur and millionaires. The middle class is almost the family that made up almost the family in America. The working class are factory worker and builders, and the lower class are people with low income. About the social factors, we have groups and social networks. There are membership groups, which are groups with direct influence and to which a person belongs. Aspirational groups are groups that an individual wishes to belong to. A reference groups is, on the other hand, are groups that form a comparison or reference in forming attitudes or behavior. Group and social network that it can be led to online social network, buzz marketing, social media sites, virtual worlds, word of mouth, opinion letters are all group and social network can make up to.
So the social. So next is the social factors. The social environment has an impact on consumer behavior, such as social networks, family, and social roles and status. About the family members have a significant impact on consumer behavior. The family is the most significant group of consumers in society, and it has been extensively studied. Depending on the product type and the stage of the purchasing process, husband-wife involved differ greatly. As the consumer habits change, so do the roles that buyers play. For example, in terms of food, household goods, and clothing. Wife has traditionally been seen as a family primary buyer. For example, you can see the keywords on Facebook and Instagram like McDonald's mom bloggers or Walmart moms, Disney social media moms. And about the social roles and status, a person is a member of multiple groups, including the family, friends, group, club, and online community. Both role and status can be used to describe the person placed in each group. Each role has a status that reflects the overall respect that society accords it. Typically, people select goods and are appreciated for their roles and position. So moving on the personal factors. About the occupation. So the marketers look for professional groups that are more interested than normal in their goods and service. Next is economic. So the final condition of a person will the financial condition of a person will influence the stores and product they choose. Spending, like for example, personal income and saving and are already closely monitored by marketers. About the life stage, over the course of their life, people modify the things and services they purchase. Age is frequently a factor in taste in cuisine, clothing, and entertainment. The life cycle stage that people may go through as they mature over time also influences by. And finally, personality. So the term personality refers to the distinctive psychological traits that set an individual group apart when examining consumer behavior for certain product or brand decisions. Personality can be helpful. So according to a theory, the brand has a personality as well, and customers are more likely to choose businesses that have personalities similar to their own. And as a result, businesses will draw in customers who value the same personality attributes. So, how to build a brand personality traits? There are 6 important things that we need to remember. First is sincerity. Second is excitement. Third is competence. Next one is sophistication, ruggedness, and the last one, the personality, the one on and only. So next, when we'll present about the psychological factors.
Okay, so we're moving on to the psychological factors. So what are psychological factors? Psychological factors are not tangible, but still play a key role in a human experience. What are psychological factors? These factors are formulated in the mind, most commonly referred to as thoughts, but they can also be other abstract concepts, such as pain or depression. Depression and anxiety are some of the most common psychological factors to influence cognition by causing an individual to have more negative interpretations of the world. The main characteristics of psychological factors involve aspects of one lifestyle, like work and stress and personality traits. Moving on, some example of psychological factors. The first one is the selective attention, the tendency for people and to screen out most of the information which they are exposed. The second one is selective distortion, the tendency of people to interpret information in a way will support what they already believe. And the last one is the selective retention, the tendency to remember good points made about a brand they favor. Also forget good point and made about competing brands. Okay, so we will move into three kind of psychological factors. The first one is belief. It is a emotion, thought that a person has about something based on knowledge, opinion, or faith. The second one is the attitude. It's mainly describe a person relatively consistent evaluations, feelings, and tendencies toward an object or idea. The last one is the learning, the change in an individual behavior arising from experience and occurs through the interplay of drives, stimuli, cures, response, and reinforcement. That's are some factors. That's are some psychological factors. Now we're moving to the the next part.
Okay, so hello guys. Sorry for the technical problems. So I am here. I'm Khang after Mr. Vinh or Đoàn Quỳnh Vương. He has presented from slide for part 2 from slide 13 to 15. This part will be me next on row. In this part, I will discuss for you guys about the types of buying decision behavior. We'll jump right into the first slide. Of course, there are 4 types of buying behavior. We could divide it into approximately 2 or 3 groups. First of all, the complex buying behavior, which involve high involvement and also significant difference between brands. Next will come the dissonance reducing buying behavior. This is a composed between a few different between brands and also the high involvement. To the next part is the low involvement, which is the variety of seeking and buying behavior is on the significant difference between brands and also the habitual buying behavior, which is few different between brands. So that is all for this slide. So in this slide, you only have to know basic of the 4 types of buying behavior between different selling channels like market, supermarket, or even convenience store. So yeah, that's all. So these are the buying process or the buyer's decision process. Of course, first of all, they have to recognize their need. Then they have to search for information, of course, on internet, on the selling pages, or even they have to see it with their bare eyes, which means they have to come to the store, see and make decision at there. And next, they will evaluate or the step of evaluations of alternative. They will compare our product with the other brand product, which had kind of similar effect on them, and then they will then we will come to the purchase decision, and last with the post-purchase evaluation, which they will do the marketing process for us. They will introduce that kind of product to their family if it is good, and yes, that's all. So next will still make meanings. Take them into the buyer's decision process. First will be the need recognition. The first stage, which I have already explained to you, will be the first stage of buying decision process. The consumer recognize a problems or need triggered by internal, simulated, or external stimuli. Next will be the alternative evaluation, the stage in which the buyer decision process they will use the information that they have just do the research on, and they will make choice between different brands. Thirdly will be the purchase decision, buyer's decision about which brand to purchase. The purchase intention may not be the purchase decision due to some kind of attitude, and also the attitude in different selling channels. Next will be the it's kind of, I thought that the information set could be higher up, would be in the second part, but yeah, so we will skip to that part. The fifth thing is cognitive dissonance, buyer discomfort caused by post-purchase conflict. And the two last process will be post-purchase behaviors and source of information. Well, in the second part of part 3, you will only have to remember those 3 things. The slide 19 and 20 is or some kind of more to provide you with a lot of more information for you to understand more about the buying decision process. So yeah, that is all for me, and we will come next to Mr. Huang with part 4.
So I'm gonna welcome you guys to my part, the adoption and diffusion process for the product. The first, the buyer decision process for new product. The adoption process is the mental process. An individual goes through from first learning about an innovation to final regulation use. Stages in the adoption process include the first is awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, activation, and adoption. As I have mentioned before, and I'm gonna explain these stages, these factors. Awareness means becoming aware of the product assistant. Interest is searching for more information. Evaluation means mental trial. Trials mean limited uses of the product. Next up is activation, means experiences the values of the product. And finally is adoption, means decision to use or reject from the consumer. Our group have a little chart for you guys to imagine about the individual differences in innovativeness. Moving on is the influence of product characteristic on rate of adoption. We have 5 factors in total. The first is the relative advantages, means the degree to which a new product is superior to an existing one. Next up is compatibility, means the extent to which a new product requires consumers to adjust to unfamiliar one. The third is complexity, means the degree of difficulty which a purchaser of a new product has in understanding it. The fourth is divisibility, means the degree to which an innovation of a new product may be tried on a limited basis. The final one is the communicability, means the extent to which the benefits of new products are likely to be noticed and discussed by consumers. I guess we reached the end of the session 5. Now we're gonna moving on to the next session, is session 6. Session 6 are business markets and business buyer behavior. Okay, this block we're gonna have 5 parts. The first is define the business market and explain how business market differ from consumer market. The second is identify the major factor that influence business buyer behavior. The third, list and define the step in the business buyer decision process. The fourth, discuss how information and online, mobile, and social change business to business. The final one is compare the institutional and government market and explain how institutional and government buyer make their buying decision. Now we're gonna move to the first part. The definition of the definition of business buyer behavior. So, business buyer behavior refer to the buying behavior of the organization that buy goods and services for use in the production of other products and services that are sold, rented, or supplied to others. The business buying process is the process where business buyers determine which products and services are needed to purchase, and then 5, evaluate and choose among alternative brands. The business market. The first one is the market structure and demand. It's including 4 things: fewer but larger buyer, derived demand, inelastic demand, and fluctuating demand. Next is nature of the buying unit. Business buyer actually face more complex buying decisions than do consumer buyers. Compared with consumer purchases, business purchase usually involves more decision participants, more professional purchasing effort, more buyer and seller interaction. The final one is supplier development. Supplier development is the systematic development of networks of supplier partners to ensure an appropriate and dependable supply of products and materials for use in making products or reselling them to others. Now we're gonna move to the second part of season 6, the major factor.
Okay, so moving on, the major factors. As you can see, there is a graph to illustrate how the business market works. So I will list some of the characteristics of business markets. The business market deal with few customers than consumer markets, but these few customers generate higher revenue as compared to consumer markets. The business markets are more geographically concentrated than consumer markets. For example, Faisalabad city is more renowned as an industrial city, and Dhaka is more famous for producing surgical instruments. According to the chart, the marketers are seeking the answers to the question that how business buyers respond to different marketing stimuli. In the model, different types of stimuli affect the buying organization, which leads to generating buyer response. The stimuli enter in the organization and then converted into buyer response. The stimuli are the keen responsibilities of the marketers is to understand what is going on within the organization to translate the stimuli into purchase behavior. It's helped marketers to develop some marketing strategies within the organization. The buying activities consist of two parts. First one is the buying center, in which different employees involved in decision making, and the second one is the buying decision process. The buying decision process and buying centers are influenced by internal, organizational, individual, interpersonal, as well as external environmental factors. And there's some major type of buying situation. The first type is the straight rebuy, a buying situation that the buyer routinely reorders something without any modifications. The second one is modified rebuy, is a buying situation that the buyer wants to modify products, specifications, price, terms, or suppliers. The third one is the new task, a buying situation the buyer, which the buyer purchased a product or service for the first time. The last one is the system selling, that they buy a complete solution to a problem from a single seller.
Hello guys, I'm here again with the second part of the next session. Of course, I'm so sorry because we should this part is kinda long, so we have to divide for all personnel in our group to have a chance to to do the presentation. So in this part, I will explain to you the business buyer behavior. There are many types of business buyer behavior. We will sort it into groups. First of all, will be the user. The user is different from the buyers. The users, they only use the product, they don't buy it. Maybe I would explain it to you this kind of simple. Well, your mom is the buyer. She buy clothes for you to wear. You didn't personally, you didn't in person. You come to the shop, but your mom buy it for you. So your mom is a buyer, and then you are the user. So that is the most simple explanation that I could think now. So the buyers, they will select the suppliers and arrange a term of purchase. The deciders, which they select, approve, and final supplier. Normally this will only be divided in large company, but in non-normal life, buyer, decider, and gatekeeper will be the same person, of course. So yes, we have to note it in some kind of more professional way. So yes, next will be the influencer. The influencer is one of the components to make up a successful. They will count for the successful of the marketing of the company. Of course, they will help a lot. They will help define the specifications, provide information, and developing alternative. Well, we'll come to the next slide. The next slide will be slide 34, which is also the models of business buyer behavior. Rank last will be the buyers. We will divide it into 4 kind of groups. First of all, will be individual, sorted in those kind of different categories: ages, income, education, job position, personality, and risk attitude. Second group will be interpersonal, will be authority, status, empathy, persuasiveness. And rank on the second place will be organizational, will be the objective, of course, policy, producer, organizational structure and system. And last but not least is the environmental, will be the economic, supply condition, technological change, political, regulatory development, and competitive development. Also culture and custom. So this is kind of long for my presentation, so I will hand it to Mr. Huang. I would say he will be your tour guide in the next part. So yes, goodbye.
So the next section 3 is about the buying decision process. So there are actually 5 process. From the first 5 steps of the there are actually 5 steps. First one is the need recognition. So recognition is the first stage of the buyer decision process, in which the customer recognize a problem or need triggered by internal stimuli or external stimuli. The second stage is the information search. So information search is the stage of the buyer decision process, in which the consumer is motivated to search for more information. So next one is evaluation of alternative. So this is the way the buyer decision process, in which the consumer use information to evaluate alternative brands in the choice set. The fourth stage is purchase decision. So this is a moment when the buyer decides about which brand to purchase. So the purchase intention might not be purchase decision due to the employees' attitudes of others, or the employee attitudes, or the unexpected situational factors. So the last one is the post-purchase behavior. So this is the last stage of the buyer decision process. So in which consumer take further action after purchase based on their satisfaction or dissatisfaction. So the next section, Heinlein will present to you about the e-procurement and online purchasing.
The next part is procurement and online purchasing. Here we have the online purchasing, extraness, and company buying size. Come to online purchasing, we have a lot of sites that can help us in nowadays shopping, like Lazada, Shopee, Sangdor, that can help us with the shopping also. Extranet is moreover than your business managing system that include a lot of information management, content management, task management, collaboration, knowledge management, learning management, employee self-service, and social features like the company of features that have the intranet that is solidified. As also we have the extranet that can collaboration with partner and combination with customer that we communicate between the very individual of each companies. Move to the next one. We have the company buying size that help us a lot with I have mentioned like the Shopee that helps company to post their products and make a lot of advertisement about it, which is also a good way of marketing.
Okay, next we will come to last part of session 6. Our last part is called institutional and government markets. As you can see, that institutional markets consist of schools, hospitals, nursing homes, and prisons that provide goods and services to people in the care. For example, the institutional market, you can easily know that like some hospital near all of kind of district in Vietnam, and some schools, some like the school that you have been learned before, it consists of like institutional markets. And some example, and we have also have characteristics. We have two kind of characteristics: it's low budgets and captive patrons. So that's all of our presentation. Thanks a lot for listening, and we hope you guys have a nice day, and we hope you guys also learn something about our presentation. Thank you so much.